Story 1. The Villisca Axe Murder House, Iowa Asterisk. Asterisk introduction asterisk. This story takes us to a small, quiet town in Iowa where a horrific crime shocked the nation. The Villisca Axe Murder House, the site of a brutal axe murder of an entire family and 2 children, has remained a place of fear and fascination. The truth of what happened that fateful night is still unclear, and those who visit the house today often report eerie experiences that suggest the ghosts of the murdered family still linger. Asterisk credit asterisk. This story was sent to us by John Doe from the USA. If you have your own creepy tale to share, you can send it to us via the email in our description box. We might feature your story in one of our upcoming videos. Asterisk the story asterisk. On the evening of June 9th, 1912, the Moore family, which consisted of Josiah and Sarah Moore and their 4 children, along with 2 guests, Lena and Ina Stillinger, gathered for a quiet night in their home. Little did they know this would be their last night alive. But there was something odd about the place. The apartment was oddly silent, even for a city. It was almost as though the walls absorbed sound. They shrugged it off at first, thinking it was just the nature of the building. It wasn't until a few nights later that they began to notice things. At first, it was small things. The front door would be slightly ajar when they knew they had locked it, the lights would flicker for no reason, and they would hear faint whispers in the walls late at night. One evening, after a particularly exhausting day at work, Jake went to the kitchen to get a snack, but as he opened the cupboard, a cold breeze rushed out, as though the air in the apartment had changed in an instant. It was then that he felt it, an overwhelming sense of being watched. He turned to see the reflection of a man in the dark hallway mirror, but when he blinked, the figure was gone. He rushed to tell Lisa, but she was already asleep. Lisa, a skeptic at heart, brushed it off as stress. But over the following days, things escalated. They began hearing footsteps in the hall, the distinct sound of a pair of heavy boots walking towards their door. But no one was ever there. The whispers grew louder, now sounding like words, almost as if they were trying to tell them something. One night, after returning home late, Jake found something even more disturbing. Furniture had moved in the living room. The couch was turned at an odd angle, and the coffee table was several feet away from where it had been. Panic began to set in. They tried to contact the landlord, but Mr. Hargrove had stopped answering their calls. Then one evening, as they sat in the living room discussing their options, they noticed something horrifying. There was a door that had never been there before. It was hidden behind a large bookshelf that they had never moved. When they opened it, they found a narrow, dusty staircase leading down to a basement they had never known existed. Around midnight, the murderer or murderers crept into the house, undetected by the sleeping victims. The weapon of choice was an axe, and it would be used to slaughter the family in a brutal, senseless act of violence. Each member of the household was struck multiple times, including the 2 young girls, who were staying over as guests. The killer ensured that no one survived. The next morning, a neighbor, concerned after not hearing from the family, entered the house and made the grisly discovery. The scene was one of unimaginable horror. Blood splattered across the walls, and the bodies of the victims were lying motionless, in positions that seemed almost unnatural. Despite an extensive investigation, the identity of the killer was never discovered. Various suspects were considered over the years, including a local man who was reportedly seen in the area on the night of the murders, but no concrete evidence ever emerged. What makes this story even more chilling is the fact that the Villisca Axe Murder House is still standing today and has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted houses in America. Paranormal investigators and visitors who have spent the night there report disturbing experiences, such as hearing footsteps when no one is around, feeling cold spots, and seeing shadows moving in the dark. Some claim to have seen the ghostly apparitions of the Moore family, especially the children, who are said to appear near the windows or in the rooms where they were murdered. Others have heard unsettling noises, like the sound of an axe striking wood in the middle of the night, as though the horrifying events of 1912 are still replaying in the very air of the house. In fact, the house has become a popular destination for paranormal tours, where people pay to experience the haunting atmosphere for themselves. Many have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, while some claim to have heard whispers or even felt something touch them during their visit. Some believe that the spirits of the murdered family are trapped within the walls of the house, unable to move on. Others speculate that the presence of the killer still lingers in the house, watching anyone who dares to enter. The basement was unlike anything they had ever imagined. The air was thick, and the temperature dropped drastically as they descended. In the far corner of the room was an old wooden chair, tied with fraying ropes, as though someone had been tied to it in the past. It was clear that something or someone had been there long before them. Terrified, they immediately packed up their belongings and left, leaving everything behind. But as they drove away, they looked back at the apartment building. In the top window, a shadowy figure stood, watching them leave. Jake and Lisa never went back, and they couldn't help but feel that the apartment, with all its secrets, had somehow known they would leave. The rent was cheap, but the price they paid was more than they could ever have imagined. And Derelict House Story 2, The Haunted Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Kentucky. Introduction. Nestled in the hills of Louisville, Kentucky, lies the Waverly Hills Sanatorium, an eerie and infamous building that has become one of the most haunted locations in the United States. Originally built in 1910 to treat tuberculosis patients, Waverly Hills quickly gained a reputation for its high death toll and chilling paranormal activity. Visitors today often report hearing disturbing voices, seeing shadowy figures, and feeling cold spots in a place where thousands once perished. Credit. This story was sent to us by Sarah White from Kentucky, USA. If you have your own spine-chilling experience to share, feel free to send it to our email listed in the description box. Your story might just be featured in one of our upcoming videos. The story. Waverly Hills Sanatorium was constructed in 1910 during the height of the tuberculosis epidemic. At the time, tuberculosis was a deadly disease with no cure, and the sanatorium was designed to isolate and treat patients. However, the building quickly became known for its overwhelming number of deaths. It's estimated that over 60,000 people died at Waverly Hills, and as the years passed, the death toll continued to rise, especially during the height of the epidemic. Many of the patients who came to Waverly Hills never left alive. The sanatorium's remote location in the hills of Louisville and its lack of proper medical treatments led to high mortality rates, and the building soon became a symbol of suffering and despair. Over time, rumors of strange occurrences began to swirl around the sanatorium. Staff and patients alike reported hearing eerie noises and seeing shadowy figures. Some even claimed to have seen the spirits of the deceased wandering the hallways, still trapped within the walls of the sanatorium. As the number of deaths continued to climb, staff members began to notice more and more strange phenomena occurring in the building. The sound of footsteps echoing through the empty halls was often heard, but when staff members investigated, no one would be found. Patients who were said to be close to death reported seeing figures at their bedside, and many spoke of seeing the faces of long-dead individuals, some even claiming to have heard the cries of patients who died many years earlier. One of the most disturbing legends surrounding Waverly Hills is the story of the body chute. This tunnel was used to transport the bodies of deceased patients out of the building so that other patients wouldn't be disturbed by the sight of death. Over time, the body chute became associated with ghostly sightings. Visitors to the sanatorium today claim to hear the sound of footsteps echoing through the tunnel, as though the dead are still being carried away. Despite its dark history, Waverly Hills has become a popular destination for ghost hunters and thrill seekers. Paranormal investigators have captured eerie footage of shadowy figures moving through the building, and many have reported feeling the presence of unseen forces watching them as they explore the halls. Some visitors have even claimed to have been touched by invisible hands or to have felt a cold chill brush past them in the darkened corridors. One of the most infamous reports comes from a group of paranormal investigators who spent the night in the building and claimed to have encountered the spirit of a nurse who had died there many years ago. They reported seeing her ghostly figure wandering the halls, as well as hearing her voice calling out for help. Today, Waverly Hills stands as one of the most haunted locations in the United States. Its tragic history, combined with the overwhelming number of paranormal reports, ensures that it remains a chilling reminder of the suffering that once occurred within its walls. Whether it's the spirits of the patients who died there or the lingering presence of those who tried to help, the sanatorium continues to haunt those who dare to enter. And as the sun sets behind the hills, the shadows of Waverly Hills Sanatorium stretch long, a dark reminder of the past that refuses to let go. And asterisk next story asterisk. Derelict House Story 3, The Haunting of Eastern State Penitentiary, Pennsylvania. Asterisk introduction asterisk. Hidden in the heart of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, lies the abandoned Eastern State Penitentiary, a place once feared for its harsh treatment of prisoners. Built in 1829, this notorious prison became a symbol of punishment and isolation, with its innovative system of solitary confinement. Over the years, thousands of prisoners passed through its gates, and many never left. Today, Eastern State Penitentiary is known not only for its terrifying history, but also for the chilling paranormal activity that continues to haunt the building. Asterisk credit asterisk. This story was sent to us by Michael Green from Philadelphia, USA. If you have your own terrifying experience, feel free to send it to us via the email in the description box. We might feature your story in one of our upcoming videos. Asterisk the story asterisk. Eastern State Penitentiary was one of the first prisons in the world to implement solitary confinement as a form of punishment. This idea was based on the belief that prisoners would be rehabilitated by being kept alone in their cells with no human contact. The prison's design, with its long, dark corridors and individual cells, was meant to isolate prisoners completely, forcing them to reflect on their crimes. But the result was far from rehabilitation. Instead of finding peace and redemption, many prisoners descended into madness. Some became so unstable that they were never able to leave the prison. The prison's harsh conditions and brutal treatment caused severe psychological trauma to many inmates, and it's believed that their suffering has left a lasting imprint on the walls of Eastern State Penitentiary. Throughout the years, numerous reports have surfaced about the strange occurrences inside the prison. Visitors, including paranormal investigators, have claimed to experience unexplainable phenomena, such as hearing disembodied voices, feeling cold spots, and seeing shadowy figures moving through the empty halls. Some say they've even seen the spirits of former prisoners wander in the prison's darkened hallways, forever trapped within the walls that once held them captive. One of the most well-known stories from Eastern State Penitentiary involves the ghost of a prisoner named the Whispering Man. This ghost is said to haunt cell block 12, and it is believed that he was a former inmate who died alone in his cell. Visitors report hearing soft whispers, as if someone is speaking directly into their ear, but when they turn around, no one is there. Some claim to have seen a shadowy figure standing at the end of the cell block, watching them as they walk past. Other eerie encounters include strange noises, such as doors slamming shut by themselves and footsteps echoing down the empty halls. Some visitors have claimed to feel as though they are being followed, with the feeling of someone breathing down their necks, but when they look behind them, no one is there. The prison's isolation cells, which were originally designed to hold prisoners in complete solitude, are particularly notorious for paranormal activity. Many people who have visited these cells report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, or even being physically touched by an unseen force. Others have heard disembodied voices calling out their names, as if the spirits of former prisoners are trying to communicate. Eastern State Penitentiary has become a popular destination for ghost hunters and thrill seekers. Its dark history and reputation for paranormal activity make it one of the most haunted places in America. Paranormal teams have conducted numerous investigations, capturing chilling evidence on video, including unexplained figures, strange sounds, and even full-bodied apparitions. One of the most striking aspects of Eastern State Penitentiary is the overwhelming feeling of sadness and despair that lingers in the air. Many who visit the prison report feeling an intense emotional weight, as though the ghosts of former prisoners are still trapped inside, unable to find peace. Today, Eastern State Penitentiary stands as a testament to the harsh methods of punishment used in the past. Its haunting history, combined with the overwhelming number of paranormal reports, ensures that the spirits of those who suffered within its walls will never be forgotten. And asterisk next story asterisk. Derelict House Story 4, The Creepy Winchester Mystery House, California. Asterisk introduction asterisk. Located in San Jose, California, the Winchester Mystery House is a massive and mysterious mansion known for its bizarre architecture and unsettling paranormal activity. Built by Sarah Winchester, the widow of the inventor of the famous rifle, this house is filled with secret passageways, staircases leading to nowhere, and doors that open to walls. The mystery behind the house's design has sparked countless rumors, including the belief that Sarah Winchester was haunted by the spirits of those killed by her husband's invention. Credit asterisk. This story was sent to us by David Black from California, USA. If you have a terrifying experience of your own, don't hesitate to send it to us via the email in the description box. Your story might be featured in one of our upcoming videos. The story asterisk. The Winchester Mystery House was originally a small farmhouse that Sarah Winchester purchased in 1884. After the death of her husband, William Wirt Winchester, and her infant daughter, Sarah fell into a deep depression. It is said that she consulted with a medium who told her that the spirits of those killed by the Winchester rifle were angry and were seeking revenge. The medium allegedly advised Sarah that she needed to build a house to appease these restless spirits. Sarah took this advice seriously and began constructing the mansion with the belief that the spirits would leave her alone if she kept building. What followed was a bizarre and confusing construction project that lasted for over 38 years. The house, which originally had 8 rooms, grew to include over 160 rooms, staircases that lead to nowhere, doors that open into walls, and windows that look into other rooms rather than the outside. As construction continued, Sarah's behavior became more and more erratic. She believed that if she stopped building, the spirits would come for her. It said that she would hold nightly seances in order to receive guidance from the spirits, and she often made decisions about the house's design based on their advice. Some of the most unusual features of the Winchester Mystery House include doors that open onto blank walls, stairs that lead to the ceiling, and hidden passages that seem to serve no purpose. The house is a maze of confusing and seemingly pointless construction, which only adds to its eerie reputation. In addition to the strange architecture, visitors to the Winchester Mystery House often report experiencing paranormal activity. Many have claimed to see the ghost of Sarah Winchester herself wander in the halls of her mansion, as well as the spirits of those who died due to the rifles her husband invented. One of the most frequently reported paranormal experiences at the house is the sound of footsteps echoing through the empty hallways, even when no one is around. Other visitors have reported hearing strange noises, such as doors opening and closing by themselves, and the feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. Some have even claimed to have been touched by invisible hands. The house is also said to be haunted by the spirits of former workers who died during construction of the mansion. Many workers were killed in accidents while building the house, and it is believed that their restless spirits remain within the walls of the mansion. The Winchester Mystery House is now open to the public, and visitors can take tours of the mansion, learning about its strange history and paranormal activity. The house has become a popular destination for ghost hunters and those fascinated by the supernatural. Some even claim to have captured eerie footage of unexplained figures and strange occurrences during their visits. Today, the Winchester Mystery House stands as a testament to the strange and tragic life of Sarah Winchester. Its eerie design and haunted history continue to captivate people from around the world, leaving many to wonder if the spirits of those who died because of the Winchester rifle are still searching for revenge. And next story asterisk. Derelict House Story 5, The Haunted Hotel Cecil, Los Angeles. Introduction. Located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, the Hotel Cecil has a dark and disturbing history. Once a glamorous hotel during the early 20th century, the Cecil is now infamous for its involvement in numerous mysterious deaths, suicides, and unsolved crimes. Over the years, the hotel has gained a reputation for being haunted, with guests and staff reporting strange noises, shadowy figures, and a feeling of overwhelming dread. Its most well-known tragic event involves the mysterious death of Elisa Lamb, a young woman whose body was found in the hotel's water tank under bizarre circumstances. Credit asterisk. This story was sent to us by Jessica Hart from Los Angeles, USA. If you have your own spine-chilling experience, don't hesitate to send it to us via the email in the description box. Your story could be featured in one of our upcoming videos. The story asterisk. The Hotel Cecil opened its doors in 1927, quickly becoming a popular spot for tourists, businessmen, and the elite. However, the glamour of the hotel quickly faded, and over the years, it became notorious for its involvement in dark and tragic events. Many of the guests who stayed there were never heard from again, and the hotel became a place where mysterious disappearances, suicides, and violent crimes were alarmingly common. One of the most haunting events at the Hotel Cecil occurred in 2013, when a young Canadian woman named Elisa Lamb checked into the hotel. Elisa was a 21-year-old student who was traveling alone, and her disappearance in the hotel was initially treated as a missing persons case. However, weeks later, her body was discovered in one of the hotel's water tanks, and the circumstances surrounding her death were bizarre and unexplained. Surveillance footage captured Elisa in the hotel's elevator shortly before her death. In the footage, she is seen acting erratically, pressing buttons on the elevator's control panel, hiding in the corner, and looking anxiously in the direction of the elevator doors. Some believe she was interacting with an unseen presence, as she appears to be communicating with someone or something that isn't visible in the footage. The elevator doors repeatedly open and close, but Lisa never exits the elevator. The footage has left many people speculating that her death was the result of supernatural forces, and her case remains unsolved to this day. The discovery of Elisa Lamb's body in the water tank was equally disturbing. The hotel guests had been complaining about poor water pressure and a strange taste in the water, but it wasn't until the maintenance crew investigated that Elisa's body was found in the tank. Her body was floating in the water, and the lid of the tank was closed but had to be forcibly removed. The fact that she was able to access the rooftop, where the water tanks were located, without triggering any alarms remains one of the most puzzling aspects of the case. Over the years, many other strange occurrences have been reported at the Cecil Hotel. Guests have complained about hearing strange noises in their rooms, such as footsteps knocking and the sound of doors opening and closing by themselves. Some have reported seeing shadowy figures moving through the halls, and others claim they felt a cold presence in their rooms, as though something unseen was watching them. One of the most terrifying stories involves a guest who stayed on the 14th floor, where many of the hotel's most tragic events took place. The guests reported waking up in the middle of the night to hear someone knocking on their door. When they opened it, no one was there. They also claimed to have heard whispers coming from the hallway, even though there was no one else in the building at the time. The hotel has also gained notoriety for its connection to serial killers. Richard Ramirez, also known as a Night Stalker, stayed at the Cecil during his killing spree in the 1980s. Ramirez was known for his violent crimes, and his presence at the hotel only added to its terrifying reputation. Another notorious figure linked to the hotel is Jack Unterweger, an Austrian serial killer, who stayed at the Cecil in the 1990s. Despite its dark history, the Hotel Cecil continues to operate, although it has been renamed the Stay on Main Hotel. It is now a budget hotel, and many of the eerie stories surrounding the building still linger. The hotel remains a popular spot for paranormal investigators, who claim to have captured strange footage and evidence of ghostly activity. Some believe the spirits of the people who died there are still trapped in the hotel, seeking revenge or peace. Visitors to the hotel often report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as soon as they enter, and many leave with unsettling memories of their time spent in the building. Whether it's the restless spirits of those who died there or the lingering energy of violent crimes, the Hotel Cecil remains one of the most haunted locations in the United States. And, asterisk,